You made me think about, again, another characteristic of autistic way of being is around what I suppose the medical language would classify special interest. I like to think of these things as areas of interest, deep passions, right? And I think that's similar in terms of autistic people. Once they are interested in a topic, it's a deep dive into this topic. And that could be to the detriment of other things that other people consider as important.
Yeah, and I think ADHD brains can get hyper focused on interest as well, which if other people don't understand that interest drive, it can probably be really confusing how you can spend several hours and forget to eat or go to the toilet, for example.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think if we think about the other side of that and how that links to communication, often what people see is someone who talks a lot at length without stopping.
Yeah. And actually, if that is happening to you, and my son did this a lot when he was growing up, um, and I didn't want him to have that experience of um, other people politely finding him boring, because I think a lot of people don't feel comfortable getting out of a conversation that they found themselves in where someone's talking about their interest and they haven't got the direct way of letting the person know that they don't want to engage in the conversation. And my son definitely had difficulty growing up, picking up on whether the person he was speaking to wanted to engage or not. So we did a lot of playing around trying to figure out, well, what are the signs that someone's interested and what are the signs that they're not? Because we knew that if he said to them, are you interested in having this conversation with me about this topic? People would lie. They would say yes, because people found it really hard to be honest especially with a child. They were being nice, but actually it's not nice to be bored by someone. So I didn't want him to experience that. So we did lots of like trying to figure out. We had to really think because we had to think what are the signs that someone wants to engage. We would say you give a bit of information and then pause and see if people are coming back on the same topic. Are they asking questions on the same topic? If they are, you can probably keep the engagement going because they're using that sign. If they keep looking away, if they are fidgeting more than usual, and it was really tricky because everyone's got a different base level of fidgeting, but that's probably a sign that they're not interested. So we gave him that kind of thing to play around with. And often it meant he stopped talking about mathematics to people who didn't want to talk about that subject. But every now and again, he'd find someone who'd done a maths degree years ago that we didn't even realize. And he'd spend a couple of hours having a really wonderful conversation with someone who wanted to have the conversation with him. And that was great. That's a good experience. But it's really hard to know, isn't it? If you don't read, if it's difficulty getting below the surface of what people are saying to understand if they want to engage with you or not.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's two things that I've been thinking about as you've been speaking. I think the first one is, how lovely, as in, it's not that your son shouldn't talk about mathematics to anyone. It's about, I suppose, just finding the people that also have a similar interest with whom he can talk about the topic at length, right? And I think that's, I suppose, something to be honored and something to be respected and encouraged, which I think is really lovely. Um, oh yeah, something else. Yes, I know in terms of, I think especially the British culture, of being so super polite. It's such a hard world to navigate.